The second area I wanted to talk about was the crafted, not cobbled messaging. And I love the alliteration. I think it's a really clever, creative line. But I'm really interested in understanding what underpins this and what the key benefit of the users for the users actually is.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely not going to take credit for that one. I think there's some pretty smart people in our marketing team that have come up with that. So I'll definitely give them credit where credit's due. But yeah, I think in terms of the message has been resonating pretty well in the market. I think one of the reasons for that is because, to your point earlier, CRMs are not new. They've been in the market for quite some time now. And a lot of businesses have, either had a go at adopting them or they've looked at them previously. It's actually quite daunting, the fact that there's over 12,000 vendors, software vendors across CRM and marketing automation and all those different types of software that can help businesses to solve for potentially one or a number of those different elements that we spoke about before. Some do them really well, but not all of them really solve for the entire experience. So what we find, and when I speak to customers, it's either a built by you type situation where a business may have, cobbled together or acquired a bunch of different softwares. They might have something powering their CMS, something for their CRM, another thing taking care of their marketing automation, which is almost like this kind of Frankenstein system that they've stitched together with middleware, which has its own problems. But then there's the other part, which might be called built by acquisition. So, other vendors in the marketplace that might have grown through buying and acquiring other companies and stitching those different solutions together to provide what they might call a CRM platform. And it does offer the suite of services and solutions that a business needs. One of the issues that we see there is the fact that that process of acquisition means that they are stitched and cobbled together. They're not really a true unified system. So you can integrate them together. And annoyingly, for a business to want to buy a suite from another vendor, they probably need to pay for those things to be integrated, even though the customer would expect them to be, an all-in-one platform. So that's something to keep in mind is, as people in the business, once the system is integrated, need to move between the different parts of that system. The user experience is not really going to be consistent. They're going to be unfamiliar. If a marketing person needs to move into the sales side or sales needs to move into customer success, there's that inconsistency. And so having siloed tools, in terms of my first example, built by you, makes it really hard to align because reporting isn't consistent. It takes a lot of time to pull those things together. Things break. Information doesn't pass between systems accurately all the time. And then in terms of the acquisition side of things, like older legacy systems can often have a clunky UX, so it makes it harder to adopt from a people perspective. But I guess the key behind, HubSpot is from a unified single code base and everything kind of built from the ground up, a consistent user experience across the whole platform. Things don't need to be integrated together, and having that single source of truth makes it much easier for your teams to align. Also, having that one intuitive UX makes it easier to adopt, and adoption is one of the most common problems that we see for businesses that try to implement CRM solutions. And then, I mentioned before that unified code base makes it easier to adapt. So you can customize, and it has the flexibility to make changes a lot faster because you don't always necessarily need development capabilities or resources. Having someone in-house, that works in marketing that's able to modify things quickly and having that agility is really quite important for businesses.
Yeah, definitely. We live in an agile world, and having a CRM that can kind of work with you on that front is critical.